One second, please. Yes. So, in the previous classes, we have already learned how to write a smart contract, how we deploy a smart contract, and how we interact with the smart contract. And all of this we have done on a Remix IDE, which is like an integrated development environment for executing your smart contracts and interacting with them. Today, we'll see how we can use a separate, a more advanced version of the Remix IDE to deploy a blockchain and allow it to be present for other people to use. So we are all familiar with Solidity, which is an object-oriented language which has been specially developed for writing contracts. Also, it is a high-level language and it has inherited a lot of traits from C++, Python, and JavaScript. So your Solidity compiler, what it does is it compiles your source code into a bytecode. And the reason for doing that is because you have an Ethereum virtual machine which only understands the bytecode. So using Remix, which you know is an open source IDE for developing and testing contracts, we have deployed our smart contracts. So as previously mentioned, we have different tools that provide different functionalities. So we have Remix IDE, which allows us to interact, deploy, test our smart contracts. We have Ganache, we have uh, is my voice audible or not? Are you able to hear me? Okay, so we were talking about uh, the Solidity programming language, which is an object-oriented programming language which has been developed to interact with smart contracts. So it is a high-level language which inherits the trait from C++, Python, and JavaScript, and it uses an Ethereum virtual machine which translates your source code into bytecode and that runs on your blockchain. So we have used Remix to write smart contracts, to compile our smart contracts, test them, and interact with them. Now, what we'll do today is we'll see how we can use other different softwares that are available to us to interact with our blockchain. So here, as in the last class when we were discussing, we have several types of tools available which allow us to interact with our blockchain. So the tools that we are going to use is we have already used Remix, we have used Ganache, we have used Remix. Today we'll see how we can use Ganache, how we can use My Ether wallet, and what different kind of functionalities do they provide. So in the previous class, we have discussed what different activities, different kinds of tool provide. So we have already worked with Remix IDE and it allows us to create, compile, deploy smart contracts. It also allows us to interact with the smart contract. That is, it allows us to create the UI for interacting with smart contract. So if we talk about the UI, so this is our Remix IDE. So we say that Remix allows us to have an interactive UI, which allows us to interact with our smart contracts. So here we have our smart contract, which we had previously written. We can now compile our smart contract. And when we compile our smart contract, it allows us to interact with it. One second, please. Why is it not working? One second. We have a smart contract over here. We go over here, we compile this contract. And for some reason, this is okay. So we deploy our smart contract, and this here is our deployed contract. So this is what we mean when we say that we have an interactive UI which allows us to interact with our smart contract. Now this is a very simple UI which allows you to invest some ether and obtain a balance when you have sent some ether, and then you can get the balance. So this was a very basic smart contract which we deployed to invest and then obtain the balance after we have invested or sent some amount. But with Remix, you can also perform some very like complicated smart contracts. You can implement very complicated smart contracts, and which allows you to get a very interactive UI for interacting with your smart contract. So Remix allows you to create a UI for interacting with your smart contract, and this is in the form of buttons that we have seen just now. And we have already interacted with a smart contract, and we can also deploy, create, compile. There are several functionalities which we get when we use Remix. However, there is certain drawbacks associated with Remix, that it does not allow you to deploy your own blockchain on Remix. It does not allow you to monitor the execution. Now, the reason we are using Ganache is because it will allow us to deploy our blockchain. It will allow us to monitor the execution of our blockchain. And then we will use My Ether wallet. You can use any kind of wallet, but here we'll be using My Ether wallet to interact, that is to create an account, and this will be your client application which allows you to interact with this Ganache, which will provide you with a framework for creating and deploying smart contracts. So to deploy the tested contract on an external blockchain, we will be using Ganache. So now the smart contracts you have already written in Solidity. Same thing we will do in Ganache. The contracts that you write will not change. The like whatever contracts you write in Solidity, that contracts are the contracts that you will implement. There is no change in the implementation of the contracts. What we're just doing here is that we are creating a test blockchain to deploy our contracts. So the contracts you write on Solidity will be compiled and deployed, and will be no change in how that happens. What now we will do is we will simply see how we can use a more advanced application to interact with a smart contract. So here we'll see the steps that you can use to use Ganache and My Ether wallet to interact with a smart contract. So to interact with the smart contract, you will need a client application, and the client application that we will be using here is the My Ether wallet. So we will use the My Ether wallet to create a wallet for each such client. So for example, you know that whenever you have a wallet, you can have several accounts inside a wallet. So for example, I have a wallet, I can have a user account, which is an externally owned account, whereas I can also have a smart contract account. So this will allow the wallet holder or the contract creator to publish the contract. And other clients that will be looking at your contract can use the interface that is being provided by the contract to send money or to receive money as part of the contract. That is, if you are creating a contract that is used for sending or receiving money, then it will provide an interface which will allow the user to interact and send and receive money. So there are several tools available to develop and test your blockchain. Here are few of the tools that we will be talking about. And one of the simplest tools that we have already used is the Remix itself. So for contract development, we will still be using Remix. That is this here, this IDE which is provided to us, we will still be using the Remix IDE for deploying, for writing our smart contracts. So you will use this code editor itself for typing your contract code. And you know that in Remix, your code may be auto-compiled. Upon successful compilation of the code, you will be able to run your code in the same IDE. And when your contract executes, the results will be displayed in the same IDE window. So here, all the functionality that Remix provides is present in the same software that we are using. Now what we'll do is we'll use one software to write a smart contract, other to create a blockchain where it is being deployed, and a client application to interact with our smart contract. So these are the list of activities that we will be doing. So the Remix IDE that we have used so far is good enough for the development of the initial testing of your contract. So when you want to initially test your contract, your Remix IDE is good enough for that. So it also provides you with some functionality to test your blockchain against different parameters. But if you want to execute your contract in real time, Remix cannot create real non-test user accounts to transfer funds between them. If you remember, when we were writing contracts in Remix, you were simply using the default accounts that were present. You could not see. So what I'm trying to say is, in Remix, what was happening is it was allowing you to send money from one account to another. So the money was being sent, but it was not visible to you. So if you look at this window here, it gives you an account. Okay. And I am writing a smart contract over here to send some money from this account to some other account. So here you can see that something has been deducted from your account, but it is not being reflected in the account to which it has been sent. So in Remix, what happens is that when we talk about Remix, you will have some account address. You will have an account address, which is a default address, which will be something, this will be your default address. It will allow you to send money or receive money. It will allow you to send and receive money, but the details of the other account from which you are, to which you are sending, or to which you are from which you are receiving money is not visible to you. That kind of information is not visible on Remix. So suppose this was your account and you said that you will transfer 0.0006 ether. Okay. So you say you transfer this amount of money to this address. Say we have some address here and you are transferring money to this address. So this value will get transferred to this address here. This 0.0006 ether will get transferred. But will this ether addition be reflected in this account, or the deduction reflected in this account? This will not be very clearly visible on this Remix environment. So Remix has certain limitations with respect to the contract execution. It provides you with an interface, but there are certain functionality that is not provided to you. So Remix cannot create non-real user accounts to transfer funds between them. You cannot interact with another account on Remix. If you have an account, you are simply using this account to send transactions or to receive transaction. Interaction between accounts is not happening on Remix. So what exactly can Remix do? What cannot Remix do? It cannot configure your blockchain. It cannot create real non-test user accounts and transfer funds between them. It does not monitor the execution of transaction, and it also does not have certain advanced options. So if you are a beginner who is trying to understand how Solidity works, how you deploy a smart contract, you will most likely be using Remix, because Remix is the most convenient, most like user friendly you can say UI for writing your smart contracts, for deploying your smart contracts. It has very user friendly features which allows you to compile your smart contract and interact with it. But with Geth, what you can do is you can do everything. We will not be studying Geth because Geth is command line only. What we will do is we will be working with Ganache, and we will use a client application, which is a wallet, which will allow us to interact with our smart contract or our blockchain application. So these are the two tools that we will be using. We will be using Ganache to inspect and monitor the execution of our smart contracts or whatever transactions we execute, and to visualize certain elements in a better way. So what does this mean is that using, if you remember with the Remix, we can see that a smart contract is getting deployed. We can interact with our smart contract, but the kind of visual features provided by Remix is not that great. But with Ganache, what you can do is you can visualize the execution, deployment, interaction of your transactions, your smart contracts in a much, much better way. Then we will be using a wallet which is known as the MyEther wallet. Now there are several other kind of wallets also available. The most commonly used wallet is the MetaMask wallet, but we'll be using here the MyEther wallet. So we'll have to create a personal wallet to transfer funds between the user accounts and to interact with the contract. So when you actually have a wallet, then you can see the transfer of funds reflected. So if you're sending money, that will get updated in your account. If you receive some money, that will also get reflected in your account. If you're initiating transactions, that will get reflected. If transaction is being initiated, if a smart contract is being executed, because some transaction has been initiated, that will also get reflected in your account. So we all know that we have to use Ethereum wallets that are application that allow you to interact with the Ethereum account. So your wallet is like a tool for managing your Ethereum account, and your wallet also lets you manage several Ethereum accounts from one application. So wallets will not have the custody of your funds. They will not have your funds in them. They are just a tool for managing and for like seeing what actually is your account balance, what other information is associated with your account. So Ethereum wallet is crucial if you want to securely store your Ether or your tokens for interacting with the block. So we'll be using both of these. We'll see how Ganache is used and how MyEther is used. So what is, previously we were using Remix to write our smart contracts. We were using Remix to deploy, compile, deploy, execute smart contracts and interact with them. Same thing we will be doing here. What we will do is that instead of using Remix for doing all those things, we will use Ganache and we will use MyEther wallet to perform the same functionality. So these are the two tools. So here if you see, we know what a smart contract is. It is written in the form of code. The code is stored on the blockchain and it will execute when given conditions are true. So if you look at this diagram here, we have a blockchain here. Now this blockchain will store both your fund transfer transactions, your smart contract transactions, and if you have any distributed applications that are running on your Ethereum blockchain, those transactions will also get recorded here. Now, this Ethereum, it uses a very simple, you can say, a philosophy that whatever happens on the blockchain, on the Ethereum blockchain, it will happen in the form of transaction. So if you're executing a smart contract, that will be a transaction. So funds transfer is a transaction. Your smart contract execution is also a transaction. Then if you have any dApps that are deployed on blockchain and they are running, so every action there will be a transaction. So whatever event, any event that happens on your Ethereum blockchain, any event, any change state, that will be a transaction. And the reason why we do so is because every transaction is associated with some ether value, and that is how the network runs. Whatever you do on the network will be on the form of transaction, and if any transaction is being executed, you will need some ether to run the transaction. That is nothing on your ether, nothing on your Ethereum blockchain is free. So if you look at this diagram here, we have a architectural diagram which tells us how interaction between the smart contract, the user, the miners, the blockchain is happening. So we'll start from bottom up, we'll take a bottom up approach. Here you can see that we will have several blocks. Now these blocks are similar in if you're using Bitcoin, if you're using Ethereum, Corda, any kind of blockchain you're using, this will be same. That is, a blockchain will be a collection of blocks which are chained together using the hash function. And each of these blocks will have transactions. In Bitcoin, it is just transfer of value from one account to another. But in Ethereum, you will have transactions associated with value transfer for initiation of smart contracts, for execution of applications. Whatever state change happens on your Ethereum, that will be recorded here. You will have users also that may use the smart contracts for transfer of money from one account to another. So a user may be using the smart contracts to transfer money from one account to another. And the smart contract will have a code section and a storage. This storage is on the blockchain. Remember, we talked about state variables. All the state variables are stored on the blockchain. And that is how they interact with the blockchain. So user can either be using the smart contracts for money transfer or for the execution of a transaction or an application, etc. Here we will have miners. What they will do is, as soon as a user interacts with a contract, now we know to interact with the contract, you will have to initiate a transaction. So as soon as a user interacts with a smart contract, a transaction will be created. So imagine if you have several users on your blockchain network and they are all interacting with the smart contracts or the distributed applications, or they are transferring money from one account to another, then what is happening is a large number of transactions are being generated. Either they are value transfer transactions, or because of the initiation of a smart contract, some amount needs to be transferred from one account to another. For example, if you have implemented an insurance scheme on your smart contract, bill execution is implemented on smart contract, or payment of like a delivery is implemented using smart contract, that also deals with the financial aspects, but we are using smart contracts to execute them. So you can see that if you are interacting with the Ethereum blockchain, you are generating transactions. So a large hundreds of thousands of transactions will be created. Now, since hundreds and thousands of transactions are being created, we know that we have miners on our network. So what the task of the miners will be, that miners will take up these transactions either initiated because of the contracts or because of the funds transfer, and they will mine a block. Mining will happen via the proof of work concept, which is the solving of a cryptographic hash puzzle to add a block. But if you are familiar with Ethereum blockchain, you will know that the Ethereum blockchain is now shifting towards a proof of stake mechanism. So in proof of work, what happens is that you know that in proof of work, you have a cryptographic hash. You have a cryptographic hash puzzle, and whoever solves the puzzle, whichever miner solves the puzzle, he gets a reward for adding the block to the blockchain. But we have another concept which is known as the proof of stake. Now, proof of stake does not solve any cryptographic puzzle. What it does is, if there are several users, say you have different users on the Ethereum blockchain network. This is user 1, here you have user 2, you have user 3, you have user 4, user 5, and user 6. Say this user has 200 ether. This user has 40 ether, and this user has 30 ether. Here this user only has 0.5 ether. So the concept used in proof of stake is that if you have large amount of ether available with you, then you can get a chance to verify the transactions. So if you have a larger stake in the network, greater is the chance that you will validate and add blocks. So this is the concept on which proof of stake works. And the reason for shifting to proof of stake was because of large computational power that was required by the proof of work mechanism. So proof of work mechanism, Ethereum is shifting from proof of work to proof of stake. And here, the users of the network, whichever user has the largest stake in the network, he has the higher probability of getting a chance to become a miner and validate the blocks. So you will not be you can say, solving a cryptographic puzzle. Instead, the network will choose you depending upon your stake, and then you will get a chance to validate the blocks on the blockchain. So here, right now we are using the proof of work mechanism. So all the transactions which have a greater transaction fee, because miners are incentivized to pick up transactions that have a greater transaction fee. So they will pick up those transactions, compile them into a block, solve the cryptographic hash puzzle, and if the puzzle is solved, they will add that block to the blockchain. So this is how the Ethereum blockchain network functions. You will have contracts and you will have transactions. Either the transactions will be to transfer money from one account to another, or the transactions can be because of the execution of smart contracts. So in any case, transactions will be generated and the miners will pick up the transaction, solve the proof of work computational puzzle, mine the block, and that block will get added to the blockchain. So this is the architecture diagram for the working of the Ethereum blockchain. Now, we are all familiar with the use cases where Ethereum blockchain can be used. It can be used to replicate, like you create a contract and you have a tenant. You can use this contract for getting your rent every month. So this contract can get replicated among nodes, and whenever on the first of every month, the user can get a notice that this is time to pay your rent. If the user pays rent, then certain set of conditions will execute. Otherwise, what will happen is he could get a notice that since you have not paid your rent, you may have to vacate the apartment. So there are several ways in which smart contracts could be implemented. then you can use it to implement a financial scheme also. That is, you can have a contract balance, a smart contract that reads the balance and fetches it and returns it to the user. So you can implement like a kind of a mechanism in which owner can request the check balance, smart contract gets executed, and that is being returned to the owner of the transaction. So these are the some examples where you can use the smart contracts. To check the contract's balance, you can use it to implement some kind of mechanism for rent paying, or you can use it to implement a supply chain management scheme, whatever. So these are the some examples. Now we will move to how we can use Remix, Ganache, and MyEther wallet to implement the smart contracts. So you're all familiar with the Remix environment where you can write a smart contract to interact with your blockchain. So here it is simply what it is doing is that you have some balance in your account, you are viewing the balance, and if you get any new deposit, that deposit is being added. So if you deploy your smart contract and you say return balance, whatever balance is there in your account will be returned. But if some user makes a deposit to your account, your balance should get incremented by whatever the new deposit is. So here we have a smart contract which is being used for returning the balance and updating the balance if any new amount is being received into the account. And here we are using only one state variable, which is balance, and this balance is what will be stored as a state variable on our blockchain. So this is the simple way in which we had previously been writing our smart contracts. We were having one account address, which was the account address of the user who was initiating this smart contract. And it is also the account address of the user, which like gets whatever new amount is getting like new amount is received is what is updated into this smart contract. So the account address here specifies the address of the smart contract, and it is also the address that will be receiving ether when some new deposit is made. So we are all familiar how this is done. This is a very simple contract here. You have an account here, you have a deploy button here, and this is the UI that you get for interacting with your smart contract. So this is the UI here for deposit and get balance. Now we will talk about Ganache. So Ganache allows you to set up a personal Ethereum blockchain for testing your Solidity contracts. And it provides you with more features as compared to Remix. Now, this Ganache is available for several platforms. So if you want to download Ganache, you can simply click on this link and it will provide you with like Ganache is available for several platforms. You can either develop and test it for your Windows, or you can develop it and test it for Mac. So this tutorial is for Mac. There is not very many changes. I'm not familiar with what the changes are in for Windows, but the platforms are very similar for both Mac operating system and the Windows operating system. So you have to simply click on this website known as truefulframework.com/Ganache, and it will direct you to the website where you can download the Ganache blockchain framework. So you can simply click on download and it will start the execution of the blockchain test environment. So when you open your installation, you will automatically, it will automatically like download all the appropriate binary installations that are required for running this on your system. So Next, when you have already downloaded it, you will open your application, you will run your application, and either you can click on new workspace to create a new like a new workspace for writing your smart contracts, or they have several predetermined workspaces available. You can either choose from them, or you can create a new workspace to start writing your smart contracts. So if you are using it for the first time, you can click on this new workspace icon over here. And as soon as you click on this new workspace icon, what will happen is you will be given a new workspace where you can start creating your accounts for deploying smart contracts. So the first step is to download this Ganache. As soon as you download it, you open it, you will get a screen like this. And on this screen, either you can say quick start and it will use a pre-existing workspace and you can start using it. Or what you can do is you can create your own new workspace and start using the Ganache software. So once you have created a workspace, what will happen is it will look something like this. So if you have created, you click on, you can say if you click on a new workspace, it will give you something like this. So the screen, what you're seeing here is showing details about the list of accounts that are present over here. You have this one address over here, you have address over here, you have this address over here. So we can see that we have 3 addresses. You can create as many addresses as you want, and the default balance that is given to each address is 100 ether. So every account will have 100 ether. And since we have not initiated any transactions, our transaction count is 0 for each of these transactions. And the index is used to refer to the number of addresses that you have inside a account. So here you can see that you have address, the first address has an index of 0, you have a second address which has an index of 1, and you have a third address that has an index of 2. So here you will be shown details about the number of addresses that you have. Each address is given around 100 ether, and the reason Ganache has done so is because having ether automatically in your account allows you to focus on developing your application. So here on the screen you can see different addresses and different you can say indexes for each of these addresses. And since we have not performed any transaction yet, the transaction count that is given here is 0. And by default, every transaction, every account or every address is given a balance of 100 ether. And it also shows a transaction count of 0 for each account, as we have not performed any transaction so far. And now let us see an overview of few important screens of Ganache that are immediately relevant to us. So if you look at this here now, you have a settings page over here. Now what this settings page does is you have to you can like use this to set the values of the server address and the port number of your Ganache server. So this, if you click on this here, it will allow you to set the host name, the port number, the network ID, and all of these values are either set by default, or if you're working on an advanced application, you can set your different like you can use your host name, you can have a different ID, a port number, etc. So here you will be able to set the values of the server address, the port number for your Ganache server, and for the time being, we will only use these default values. And the network here, the network ID that you see is an internal, this here is the internal blockchain identifier for Ganache server. And these are the default values. The auto mine button is in the on state. This indicates that the transactions would be processed instantly. That is, as soon as you write transactions, they will be processed. So if you switch this off, it will ask you to enter the time in seconds, after which you want your block to be mined. So what this means is, here you have an account which allows you to create transactions. It also allows to deploy your blockchain. So this feature is what allows you to deploy your blockchain. So you will be creating transactions. All right. And if you turn this auto mine button off, this Ganache will ask you, the software will ask you, after what amount of time do you want your block to be created? How many number of do you want your blocks to be deployed? So this is the automine feature of your Ganache. And here we have another button which is known as error on transaction failure. When transactions fail, it will show an error. So if you turn it on, it will show what error has happened in your transactions, whether the amount was not transferred, or whether there was the address could not be found, or you had insufficient balance. That kind of errors you will get. But if you disable it, what will happen is the Ganache will handle transaction failures on its own level. It will give you a flag that, okay, something wrong has happened, but you will not be able to see what has happened on your, like what has gone wrong with the transaction. So if you move back to the previous screens, here you can see that you get the address here, the server address and the port number, which you will be using for interacting with your Ethereum account. Next, we'll talk a bit about accounts and keys. So all of these options are present over here. You have account, you go inside account, you can access your custom, you can have your node name, you can have your URL, you can have your port number. At the same time, it will also it allows you to set the default balance. Okay. So if you're inside your account, you can tell the number of accounts that you want to generate, what will be the starting balance for the account in Ether. Do you want to like automatically generate accounts, or do you like manually want to specify the amount of accounts that you want to create? So here you would be able to set the default balance for each account. The default value, as you can see here, is 100, but you can set this value as whatever you want. So whichever value you set here, that value will be reflected over here. That value will be reflected over here, and that will become the default value. So you will be able to set the default balance, and you will also be able to set up the number of accounts here. The value displayed is 2 on the screen, which will mean that we have 2 addresses, and we will use those 2 addresses for interacting with our account. Also, here you can see you have a restart screen button here, which means that when you set some balance over here and you create new accounts over here, you can simply click on restart, and that will get reflected on your main screen over here. That is, if you want accounts to be 3 or 4, that will get reflected over here, and their balance will also get reflected. So this accounts and keys allows you to set default balance for each account, and it also allows you to create separate accounts. So this is the functionality that we need to know with respect to Ganache. That is, it is a workspace which allows you to say create accounts. Inside the account, it will allow you to have certain balances associated with each account. It will also allow you to create several addresses, Ethereum public addresses, which will allow you to interact with different users on the network. It also allows you to initiate transactions, deploy transactions, and it will allow the process of block mining. So if you have sufficient transactions, you can specify that after completion of 50 actions or after every 15 seconds, mine a new block. So we'll stop here. In the next class, we'll start with the Ether wallet and see how we can link this Ganache to our Ether wallet, and then see how we can deploy our smart contracts. If anyone has any doubts, please ask. Any doubts, anyone? Actually want to do a demo of this, then you need to give me an extra class, because we can't do this in class hours. If we want a live demo, then we will have to have an extra class to do this. So, okay. If you have any doubts, please do ask. Otherwise, you can drop your enrollment numbers and we can end the session.